I think you have to, one, be okay with not treating self-doubt like this one wall that you can just hop over and then life is good. We don't actually value how much things that we're thinking about weigh on us every single day. And so the more time you're spending, doubting yourself, it's just going to ultimately spiral into something that you're going to lose control of and you're not actually going to get any work done.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Making It Happen podcast. I'm so excited to welcome Tyler Babin. He's been a real idol of mine. He's been worked with Gary V. He's worked with Adobe and just a number of brands across the US. He is a true icon. I'm so happy to have you on the show for the One Question series. But first off, Babin, how you doing, my man?
Life is good. Settling into my new home here on the West Coast, trying to stay creative, stay positive in this weird time that we're all living through. But life is good. I'm doing much better than I deserve.
Awesome, man. No, you're looking good, and I'm loving the videos on YouTube, man. They inspire me so much for the creative people out there. And I think well, I believe everyone's creative, but for people who may be more traditional and just your videos, man, are just awesome. So thank you
Thank you,
for
bro.
just bringing us value.
Yeah.
So let's get forward with the question. So this has been something that I've been struggling with a lot, and I think a lot of creatives as well, and especially this year with COVID, is the topic of self-doubt and overcoming kind of the fear of ourselves and fear of putting ourselves out there. And as creatives, you know this very well, we're putting ourselves out there all the time. And I'm on this mission to help people kind of reach their dreams and their goals. And I know that this was a big hurdle for myself to get over. I'm still getting over it today. Some days I'm great and some days I'm not. What do you have you had experience with self-doubt, and if you have, maybe just share us a little bit about your story getting over it and your strategies to overcome it, because this is such a hurdle for a lot of us. And I think once you overcome this, you can really get into the growth and progress you need to reach your dreams.
Yeah. I mean, I think first and foremost, the thing is that sorry, my puppy is in the room with me, so he's
All
if I'm not
good, all
playing with
good.
him, he's angry at me. Um, I think you have to, one, be okay with not treating self-doubt like this one wall that you can just hop over and then life is good. My career has been in creativity and filmmaking and photography for close to 15 years now, and I still battle with self-doubt all the time. So I think, one, you have to reframe what self-doubt is and look at it not as like this one thing that's standing in your way, but learn how to utilize self-doubt and be like, all right, this is a thing, it's here to stay, and let me figure out what works for myself to move past it. And you said something really important, which was like, there's self-doubt about putting yourself out there, and that's something that I fear too. And I definitely have, like, my self-doubt forms in the insecurity that I don't have anything real to say. And whether or not that's true or not, that's the thing that,
Mm,
like, internally scares me, is I'm like, is all my content lack substance, right? That's like a fear of mine. And so I think that once you can recognize what your actual fear is, like what that self-doubt is actually manifesting as, you have the toolkit then to work off of. And so for me, the thing I've come to realize helps me tremendously is to be very public and out there about that fear, and package it up in a way and get it out of your brain. Because if it's in your head still, it's taking up space, and that's ultimately what's going to be standing in your way of actually creating and living up to your fullest potential. So I think anyone who's dealing with self-doubt and has like a major fear or insecurity about the stuff they're putting out and it's holding them back, I think you should either set up a camera, open up a notebook, write an email to yourself or to your group of friends, and just let your brain consciously flow and put out all of those insecurities and fears and just package it into something that
mm,
you can put away. So for instance, I made a video a few weeks ago around imposter syndrome, and I noticed it was really weird that after I uploaded that video where I was very honest about my fears, it was like it left my body and I didn't need to deal with it anymore. It was a very kind of surreal experience. And
mm,
so that would be, I think, one of my biggest pieces of advice is don't allow anything to take up room inside of your head. And it's it might be funny to like look at this and be like, oh, that's all just mental, like you can just forget about it, but it's not. You have to have something you can execute against. And so I think actually writing down the things you want and the things that you're insecure about and putting those out into the world and just letting go of them, I think will free up the space in your head that you need to actually pursue the things you want to do and achieve your dreams.
I think that's such a cool kind of tactic and trick. Like email yourself, like, or write it somehow, write it out and put it out on paper or on your computer. It doesn't always have to be video for you and I, that might be our strong suit, but for someone else, that might not be. So paper is awesome. Email is awesome. And just getting those thoughts and fears out. And whenever you are ready to put out to the world. And I love that video that you're talking about. You have to go watch this video after this, that after you post it, you kind of it left you, right? All those fears, all those self-doubt issues, it was just gone, right? It's so surreal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's just about. I think we don't take advantage, or maybe not take advantage is the right word, but we don't actually value how much things that we're thinking about weigh on us every single day. And so the more time you're spending, doubting yourself, it's just going to ultimately spiral into something that you're going to lose control of, and you're not actually going to get any work done. And so I think that once you are able to recognize what the self-doubt is, get it out of your head, get it out of your body, and then build a schedule that you have to stick to. And that, whenever, for me, it's like downtime is like the worst thing ever, because that's whenever I notice those moments happening. So I try to eliminate downtime from my schedule. I don't want any downtime. I just want to like focus on the things I need to do. And I think for me, at least, that gives me the toolkit and the structure on my life to not fall into self-doubt too regularly. But ultimately, I think for some of us, it's just here to stay. I think that I will deal with some level of self-doubt for the rest of my life, right? It's just what it is. I've accepted that. And now that I've accepted it, I can move on and say, okay, how can I work with what I have to make sure I'm doing the best I can?
Tyler, I think that's just, you said it poetically, my friend. That's just so true. I think there's a level of overthinking too with a lot of us. Overthinking, when we have that downtime, we tend to over plan or just, yeah, overthink the videos or the content or whatever you're trying to do, that promotion at work. You're overthinking it. And then that leaves room for you to self doubt. Well, maybe I'm not that, great of a guy or gal, right? So I love how you said it and the way you put it. Honestly, this is the perfect format for this. And for everyone listening, thank you so much for staying tuned. And Tyler, thank you for coming on and just spending a couple minutes with us. It's been a real pleasure. Do you have any final thoughts around this topic? Obviously, you said a lot, but this is the one question series, but I don't want to stop you if you're on a roll. If you have any more advice to give us just on how to get over this overall, this problem that we're having in this industry, any final thoughts you might have?
I think that it's just really important to remember that you're not alone in these things. So many people are dealing with it. And I think that if you open up the avenues to have conversations with people about these, like we're doing right here, it makes people feel a little bit more human. And again, whenever you don't feel like the spotlight is on you and you're the only person dealing with this problem, it's a lot easier to kind of adapt and work with what you have to move forward.
Awesome. I'm going to link that imposter syndrome video as well so people can check it out and get more in-depth knowledge on this topic. Tyler, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. That's all we have for today. Thank you guys for listening or watching the Making It Happen podcast, the One Question series. My name is Kyler Miles, and we are signing out. Thanks, Babin.
Later, man.